Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles, and today's video is going to be all about ways to promote samples. Now, I wanted to create this video because a lot of companies have gotten into offering samples. Offering samples is nothing new, but I'm referring to primarily the hair industry and a lot of businesses that I work with. I've done consultations pretty recent with business owners that have now transitioned to offering samples that did not offer samples before. When I first started my hair business, I did not offer. Did I offer samples initially? Hold on, let me go back. I think that I did offer samples for a limited time, but the samples that I was offering were completely free. So I was doing free samples. And then after about, I'm trying to think if I started the business. So give me 1 second, let me see. I started my business back in 2013. When I started my business, I did not have samples on my website. About a month after being in business, I got a few different opinions that I should offer samples. I went ahead and I started offering free samples. That lasted for about, I would say, a month and a half, 2 months. After that, I decided to not offer samples for just period until I decided to come back and be committed to my business and really take my business more serious than I ever have taken it. When I came back and offered samples, I began to charge for samples so that it wouldn't be a loss on my business. Now, there are different ways to provide free samples and cut different expenses with your business if that is something that you want to do. However, there are companies that charge for samples and certain companies that do not. I've created a video about that on this channel too, to kind of go over the benefits and disadvantages of offering samples free and also charging for samples. So if you are in the position with your business and you're wondering, what should I do? Should I offer free samples or should I offer samples that are, my clients and customers or potential customers and clients can pay for, or should I not offer samples at all? I do have a video that will kind of get those wheels turning so that you can decide what's going to work best for your business. But this video, I really want to talk about different ways to promote samples, because one thing that I realized when I was offering even free samples, sometimes I couldn't even get free samples to go out. And so it takes promotion to promote any product and also to get anything out into the public's hands, even if it is free. And so I'm going to be going over different tips on how to promote your samples, regardless if you want to offer them free or if you want to charge. Because like I mentioned, just because something is free does not mean that people are going to want to try it or even take the steps that are necessary to get the free product. Even if the steps are going to your website, adding a free product to their cart and putting in their name, address, phone number, they may not even want to do that. There has to be a what's in it for them. And not just that, but they also need to know that that's something that you're offering. But how can they know if it's not being promoted correctly? So that's what we're going over today. If you are interested, be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. Please be sure to subscribe if you have not done so already, and let's get right into the video. So the first thing that I want to point out is newsletters. So many entrepreneurs really downplay the advantage of having a newsletter for their business. I speak with tons of entrepreneurs in person as well as via email, text, phone call, YouTube comments. And there are a handful of entrepreneurs that talk significantly about their newsletter email marketing list. And some that say, hey, that's something I was wanting to look into, is something I'm going to get started, but I just haven't had the time. But a lot of entrepreneurs really miss out on so many opportunities by not having an email mailing list created for their business. Email marketing is a way to share with people what it is you are offering. We've gone over that in a lot of different videos on this channel. So if you do want more business tips and information after this video, please be sure to click the link below this video. There is a playlist, tons of videos, full of videos, business related videos, so that you can go ahead and watch additional videos that have business value for your business. But a newsletter, create a newsletter if you have not done so already. That is a perfect way to promote free samples or samples that you are going to charge for. There's nothing wrong with charging for samples. There are some people that think that that's completely crazy, but especially if you're a startup business, everything counts. There are so many businesses that have started up and they have not structured their pricing strategy and structure in an efficient way and in an effective way, that they have gone out of business prematurely, unfortunately. And when I say prematurely, I'm meaning that they did not want to go out of business. They had no intention on going out of business. They just did not have the funds it needed to continue to keep the website going for their online business, or continue to keep the products coming in for their brick and mortar location, or continue to pay rent at their brick and mortar location, or whatever the case may be. The biggest mistake that one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make is underestimating business expenses. Even if you're an online business, an e-commerce business only, it does not mean that you don't have any expenses. You may start off with having no expenses, but as you stay in business, you may notice that it does take money to make money. Now, it may not take as much as you have seen other people talk about, or it may not take as much as you're thinking it takes, but it takes money a lot of times for a good e-commerce website. It takes money a lot of times for branding. Even if you're creating your own branding, it still costs money for the paper or for the ink that you're using. Or, sometimes even if you're using Canva, there are different plans that cost money. So a lot of times it's going to cost money to keep your business running. And if you're giving out free samples, if you're not really calculating the cost or putting back into your business, you can find yourself in a position where you are overspending and you're not really getting anything back. Now, I do know a lot of times it does take feeding your business time and investing, different ideas, and sometimes money and time, like I mentioned. And, you may not receive an immediate return. I do talk about the importance of being patient in business as well. But I just wanted to put that out there, that sometimes a lot of entrepreneurs underestimate how much it costs to keep their business running and afloat. And so if you want to offer samples, but if it's something that you cannot afford to do, instead of not offering the sample at all, allow your customers and clients to decide if that's something that they want to pay for. I know for my business, I do offer wholesale and drop shipping opportunities. So if you are interested in selling hair extensions, be sure to check me out on badchickhair.com. I will put the name across the screen. But people that are looking to invest with me to start their business, a lot of times want to try out the hair. And so I do have samples available for that reason. I have different types of samples available too, at different price points. So I allow my customers and clients to choose if that's something they want to invest in. And I also provide the value in investing in samples. Now, one way that I promote that, like I mentioned, is through my newsletter. So not every newsletter shows samples. However, I do have at the bottom of my newsletters promote the most popular products. And because samples are purchased very frequently, they show up in a popular product on my newsletter. So that's another way that people are able to see what I'm offering and purchase samples if they are interested. Another way to promote your samples is via your website. So a lot of people have free samples, but they don't include free samples on their website. And I'm using free samples just as an example here because it's free. They're like, well, why would I put it on my website as something customers can buy when they don't need to buy it? I would still recommend putting free samples, if that's what you're offering, on your website as an option for customers to buy, but just putting the amount at $0. That way you're able to get email addresses if you have an email newsletter. And a lot of times there's a button where customers can click if they're okay with receiving email correspondence before they even check out. So although you're not getting paid, you can still add value back into your business while promoting what it is you offer. And another way to promote it is if someone is looking for a sample of whatever you're offering, you can give them a website to go to where they can read more information and actually see the product there and see that it's free for them to purchase if you do decide to offer free samples. So even if you don't have free samples, I recommend you having it on your website too, just at the price point. But I wanted to specifically speak to those that do offer free samples because I see samples not being added to the website most commonly for business owners that offer free samples. Because like I said, the analogy of, well, why would I offer or put the sample on my website when the sample is free? Do that to add more value by getting more newsletter subscribers, keeping track of who all is purchasing your sample so that you can follow up and actually see if they enjoy the sample and hopefully secure a sale from their sample experience. And then also have a way to promote that you're offering samples. If someone was to meet you at the grocery store and you were talking about your products, actually have a place for them to go and be able to read more about the sample. Another way that you can promote your samples is through social media bios. So in your bio, like on Instagram, for example, taking advantage of the bio. I made a video right before this video going over not being too routine with your business. Now, I don't want to confuse this. There are some people that are going to say, well, hey, I'm not being too routine. I have a routine for my business and I'm just being patient and waiting on results. I completely agree with being patient and not always changing your strategy and changing your technique when you don't get sales immediately. However, I have been a person that has become too routine with my business at times where I have overlooked different opportunities. I'm only human. So not everyone is going to see every opportunity that's presented to them all the time. But one way that I have been able to slow down and check myself and make sure that I'm really paying attention to everything, the overall health and growth of my business, is to look closer and to create different weekly plans based on my analytics. So I'm not saying that's going to be the plan that I go with or the strategy that I adapt for the entirety of my business, but that is what I'm doing now, and I have definitely seen results by transitioning my approach. So I am saying that if you have a bio in your Instagram, like for me, for an example, I am considering changing my bio. Feel free to consider changing your bio, not all the time, not every day, but changing it to incorporate what it is you're promoting. So if you're promoting a course that week, you may want to have information about the course in that bio. It makes sense. If you're promoting samples, you may want to have information about free samples and where people can go to get more information about the samples right there in your bio. So whatever it is you're wanting to promote, not forgetting about the bio and the significance of how that can do the promoting for you. The next point that I wanted to point out is email correspondence. So another way to promote your samples is through your email. So if a customer or client, or even potential customer and client, reach out to you and they ask a question about your hours of operation, for example, making sure that you reply back answering the question, but then also including information about what it is you're offering and asking them if there's anything else that you can assist with, if they had any additional questions, to leave room so that you can see what it is they're interested in and then reply back with a based on what you're interested in, I recommend this type of email to keep the conversation going and also to build relationship between you and that customer, client, or potential customer and client, and also share information about what it is you're wanting to promote. Sometimes you can also put what it is you're promoting in your signature in an email. So if you want to put free samples available here, or valuable samples here, or sample options here, or something like that, where it gives them the opportunity to get more information about what you're promoting, is going to be beneficial too. A lot of people click on links. Working in the financial industry at the bank, there would be so many people that would call in saying that they clicked links and did this and did that, and they were fraudulent links. And so a lot of times we would have to report those links. They would click links because they thought that they were from our financial institution. But like I mentioned, they would be fraudulent links, and there was a chance or a risk of them giving that they had gave out too much of their personal information. So we had a whole phishing department based on that. So I'm saying that people like clicking links. So if you put a link in your signature that directs them to something that you're promoting, a lot of times people are going to click on that link just to find out more information about it. The last point that I have, or the last way that you can promote your samples that I'm going to discuss in this video, is online and in-person events. So whenever there's an event that you are wanting to or interested in going to, reading up on it, getting information, and then not missing the opportunity to promote your samples, whether that mean you're taking cards that specifically talk about the samples that are being offered, that you're putting on your like a sticker on your shirt or on your uniform, whatever you're wearing to the event, that says, I offer samples, ask me about them, or ask me where, or ask me something to kind of start that conversation. If you're going to put a sign up on your pop-up table, if you're doing an online event and you are using the code samples available to get a certain discount or to get access to the event, something like that, that's going to alert people that are interested in coming to the event or working with you on the event that you are offering samples, will be very beneficial. So those are 5 ways that you can promote that you are offering samples, whether you're offering free or whether you're charging for samples. If you do want more business advice and tips, and also different business stories from my personal business journey, as well as other entrepreneurs that I work with via business consultations, please be sure to click the link down below this video and check out my business playlist. Feel free to leave comments underneath the video of what you'd like to see next and any questions that you may have, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.